If you've ever had someone slide into your DM, they're really ready to work with you, right? They're ready. And then all of a sudden, you completely kind of lose track of that conversation. Today's episode is really going to be the one for you, in my opinion. I want you to drop, if you can, inside of the comment section, a thumbs up or a hands up or something if that was you. Drop that in the comment section. If that's ever happened to you, where you're going to get a transaction that's going to really, really, really help take that person's life and your life to the next level, but you completely lost track of that conversation. I want you to drop something in there to let us know. Let me tell you, make sure you hang out with us today because I'm going to give you some information I think that's going to really help you literally get past that. This is going to be a good one, y'all. I am extremely excited about today's actual operational leak. It's a good one. It is one that I believe truly is going to be extremely helpful. All right. Here's the thing, you do not have an actual lead problem. And in most cases, you don't. Most people think that they do, but that's not it. You literally have a lead tracking problem. Look at it like this, okay? It's not the lead problem you think. It's all about tracking and all about systems, right? Those are not the same thing, right? Lead problem and lead tracking are two different things. They're really not the same thing. There's a difference, in my opinion, between them. And I think the difference is what truly is kind of costing you the revenue that you've already earned or you've been seeking to earn. And today, inside of the Operational Leak series, we're actually going to talk about the lead tracking leak, the revenue that's hiding in pieces across your inbox, your DMs, your notes app, and then, of course, your memory, the money you already generated interest for, right? That's slipping through the cracks because nothing is holding it in one place. For those of you who may not know me, I'm Danette Moss, also known as the Strategy Lady, and I help consultants and service providers build operational infrastructure that lets their business run without running them. And every Tuesday, I break it down one leak at a time about your back end, one gap that's actually costing you that time or revenue and the momentum. And I show you how to close it. One leak, one fix, one episode, literally at a time. So let's get into this one because this leak is not about generating more interest. It's not. It's not about losing the interest you already have. Here is what this leak actually looks like. Someone comments on your post. They are interested. Someone slides into the DM, y'all. You know it, asking you what it looks like to work with you. Someone emails you after a referral that actually comes to you. Someone fills out that contact form from your page. Someone says, let's talk after the holidays when you meet them at an event because they want to follow up with you next week. See, every one of those is a lead. And right now, every one of them is more than likely for some people living in different places. The comment is on one platform, the DM is on your app, the email is in your inbox, the referral is in a text, the follow up next week is in the memory. Or worse, it was in the memory and it already fell out, right? Because you just don't remember it. You do not have a list because everything is fragmented. And when your leads live in fragments, y'all, you cannot see your pipeline. You cannot follow up consistently. You cannot tell who's warm, who's waiting, and who's already actually slipped away. That is the lead tracking leak that we're talking about. And here's why this happens. It is not because you are disorganized. It is because interest comes in from everywhere. and you've never built one place to catch it. Okay. You got all these different platforms, all these different doorways, and you have been trying to remember actually which door they walk through. That works when you have maybe what, 3 leads or so, but it collapses when you got 30 and you never notice exactly, the when it actually happened, right? You just started feeling kind of like, man, I think I forgot about something. Or you feel like you're always behind. You're always finding conversations that you meant to continue 3 weeks ago when they pop up maybe in your memory, right? The leak is not a volume of leads. I keep telling people that. The leak is something that you're actually struggling with because in most cases I found when I deal with consultants and service providers, they've got several different tools that they are trying to pull together or they forgot about, oops, I did this here. The biggest one that I see oftentimes is when I go to events and everyone's trying to stay connected and they hand you that cell phone to scan that QR code, right? Scan that QR code and the information goes in their cell phone. They're using like hi, hello, or blink or whatever platform of choice, and it's not going directly into a CRM. That's a leak problem. You got things going all in different directions. When I go to events, y'all, as soon as they scan my QR code, listen, the person is immediately getting a response via SMS or SMS and email. One, I look polished, don't I, right? But two, I knew I was going to that event. So I'm plugging the leak before I get there. So I'm already having my automation already set up. But listen, we'll talk about that a little bit more deeper. But here's what this leak is, right? Or what this leak is actually costing you. The leak is costing you some revenue, that moolah, that money. Every lead you forget to follow up with is money that you already kind of spent to earn. You created the content, you showed up, you had that conversation. The hardest part in generating what you need to do as it pertains to the leak situation, you messed around and the interest is kind of gone now. Things are evaporated because there was never a place for you to capture anything, anywhere that you could see it to remind you to remember again, right? That you needed to follow up because it's sitting out in la la land or sitting over in all these different places. It's costing you consistency. It really is. Some leads get 5 follow-ups because they just so happen to stay visible in your inbox. Others get 0 because they were in the DM. And you know what happens in the DM, right? You scroll, it's down, it's in the top, it's in the bottom, you scroll past it, and your follow-up turns out to be kind of random all the time. Not because you didn't care. Trust me, I know you care about it, right? But because you couldn't see it. Because everyone was everywhere and not in one place. It costs you confidence now. Because when you cannot see your pipeline, AKA the sales pipeline, you are guessing. You are guessing daily, weekly, and monthly. You feel busy but unclear. You have no idea how much money is actually in what I guess would be considered motion, right? How much has actually probably possibly died quietly because everything is everywhere. And here's the reality. It ends up costing you not just money, it ends up costing you peace. Now, I find when I was all over the place in that area, I literally would remember that, hey, I forgot someone, but I can't remember what it is I said I was going to do, how I was going to continue, how I was going to connect back with them. Listen, it's just that silent place where you're like, man, I hope I'm not missing out on an opportunity. And I just can't remember because I got everything everywhere, right? That is not something that you want to continue to do on a consistent basis, right? It literally shows you or it should be an indicator to you that something's missing in your system, not systems. Now, I know a lot of you all have this issue when it comes to, people saying you should do things in one space, but when you're scattered, you've got a scattered mindset, and that means your entire pipeline is scattered. You're carrying the entire pipeline, generally speaking, in 12 places or either in your head. And your head was never meant to build or to be actually the CRM, that intimate place, that command center. So here is the S.A.S.S framework fix that I believe can be extremely helpful for you when it comes to the lead tracking leak. First, listen, we start with simplifying. Okay. You need to simplify. You need to pick one place where every lead will live. One, not 5 different tools. Okay. One list, one dashboard, one system that becomes the single source of truth. Listen, for every person who you are actually dealing with, every person that raises their hand. Now, this is a place that you need to have or choose before you automate anything. Because you can automate chaos, right? You really can. Before you automate anything, you need to decide this is where your leads are actually going, period, at one place. Then you automate. Then you make sure that it flows well into one place without you having to copy and paste it every time you're doing something. It's already set up, automated it at one place, right? The form that you have either inside your DMs, that area when people put stuff in and all of a sudden it starts popping in with the next question they have for you, or actually the email that you actually set up to automatically respond back to them. Listen, the DMs can actually get logged the moment that the person touches it. The moment they scan the QR code, the second that they do that, something should come to them. And that can be done with the automation. But remember, we got to do that first step first. Listen, the capture should not depend on you to remember. It shouldn't. You're going to forget, especially if you're out networking. You get all these different people. You're going to forget. Next, you need to systematize. Every lead moves through the same stages, whether they're new, whether they're a recent client that you had, whether you are just kind of in a conversation with them, whether you sent a proposal to them, whether they've already decided to go in business with you. Things need to come through the same path every time. Y'all, that's consistency to me. You can look at, really, when you set it up that way, one screen, and you can know exactly where each individual person stands, right? Without you digging through 4 different apps, trying to look back on your phone and reconstruct what it was that you talked about. That last piece, streamline. You need to, think about the way that you can close the gap where no lead is actually sitting in the wrong spot. No lead sits in contacted for like 3 weeks with no next step. You know what that looks like, right? You don't have a follow-up system. No conversation goes cold because you actually forgot that they existed. You forgot about what you talked about. Every person in that system has a defined next action and actually a date attached to it. I love that. The pipeline is actually going to move, right? It moves because the structure moves it, because it's not up here in your memory. Now, here's your action step for this week, your S.A.S.S assignment. This week, do one thing. You know, I'm in weekly on that. Do one thing. Open up one document or your spreadsheet, one dashboard, whatever you have, and pull every open lead into that from your inbox, from your DMs, from your text, from your memory. all of them, do it in one place. Do not build the perfect system yet because you can't. Don't automate anything. Just get every lead that is currently scattered into one list where you can really just kind of see it and it's not everywhere. Then look at that list, okay? And I want you to ask yourself one question. How many of these people, AKA the lead, did I forget existed? That number is your leak. Now, if you find one lead you forgot, go ahead and follow up today. That one follow up might be revenue that you were literally about to lose. And we ain't got time for that. You don't want to lose that. But if you pull that list together, okay, and you realize that you have leads scattered everywhere, you got them over in maybe Dubsado, you got them over on Kartra, you got them over, you even some of you are trying go high level, you got them everywhere, scattered across 5 platforms where nothing is kind of meeting each other. You have no way to see them because they're not connected, no way to track them, and no way to follow up consistently. Listen, that's not a memory problem. That's a sales infrastructure problem. And I know oftentimes we get caught up in people telling us we need all these different things, but I'm trying to get you to see the importance of reducing the scatter, reducing the chaos. All right. And here's the thing. When you find that you are all over the place and you have things scattered everywhere, that's a deeper issue, right? It shows that you have a deeper gap in your operations, in my opinion, your back end. There's something going on underneath that you need to satisfy. Okay? It is. Listen, we can't get around it. It is what it is. Now, I've been sharing with you all on a weekly basis, or maybe a couple weeks, that we actually offer an audit. And I believe when you have a scattered infrastructure, your back end is all over the place, an audit may be necessary. Okay. Because the leads that you cannot track, they rarely show up alone. And if you have not audited your situation, you can't fix it. Your follow ups will continue to fall through the cracks. The sales won't be a sale. And that's a problem. We're in business, of course, right, to help people, but we're in business, to make the sale. So those proposals that are going out with no systems behind them, that's a problem. The pipeline will usually be invisible. I've seen people talk about pipelines, but they have no system set up. So it's just sitting there. They're excited about it, but nothing is set up to capture anything because everything is running off your memory. Because you got good intentions, but good intentions are not repeatable systems. And when you're in 1,200 different tools, that's a problem. And that's a pattern, right? Your pattern will not necessarily be the pattern that you want it to be, like a pattern of knowing you're collecting your people the information so that you can communicate with them. It's going to be a pattern of lost revenue across all ways. You've got to fix that leaky hole, that patch. Well, patch it up, right? You got to fix it. It's time to fix it. Listen, when you look at your infrastructure underneath the entire business and you see that you have no way of knowing exactly what's going on, it's time for you to audit the situation. It's time for you to peel back the onion layer and see what it is you can do to fix the situation so that you can get some consistency in your business, right? We actually offer what do I call it? Lord, I done lost track of what I was saying. It's literally our simplified to scale operational infrastructure type audit. And when we do the audit, we sit with you and we go through every layer of your business. We pull back the onion layer and then we give you back what we've discovered in 24 hours. I love it. We've been going through several different operational leaks, and these leaks have been building weekly, one on top of the other. And each person that I have spoken to after we go live, I've found, not each, but in most cases, most of them really need an audit so they can see where their problems exist, especially the ones that have been told, all you need is a funnel. How many of you all know you need more than a funnel? Because when you have a funnel, that lead page, that landing page, they do what they do. What's the next step? Where's the stuff going? Is an automated message going out? Is the follow-up email going out? Did the contract go out? And in most cases, those leaky holes that you have, you miss them, or you're irritated or frustrated because you feel embarrassed because things are not lining up, because you really can't see clear. That means you need an audit, right? And we offer the audit. Inside of the comment section after we end this live, you'll be able to find a actual link to that, or in the bio section, depending on where you're looking at this, whether you're looking at it on LinkedIn, IG, whatever. You will have the opportunity to get with me so that I can help you solve this problem, solve this lead tracking problem. I'm always excited to work with you on this, to fix the situation. Trust me, I know about it because I used to live in that. Now, you can go over to my website, letstalkstrategies.com. As soon as you get there and you read up top, there is a button for you to go ahead and actually take advantage of grabbing your seat in that. Now, before we end, I want you to answer this question that I'm going to actually leave you with. How much of your revenue is sitting in pieces right now? In an inbox, in a DM, a note that you forgot to write because it was up here? How much of those is waiting on you to follow up that is never going to come because you cannot see it? You cannot follow up on what you cannot see. Lead tracking problem. You cannot scale a pipeline that you're holding in your head. Get it in one place. This is how you're going to stop losing money that you already earned because you put that time out there. This is how you're going to put your business on rinse and repeat that I talk about all the time. And this is how you're going to get your S.A.S.S on in your business. I'm Danette, business growth and operation strategist, aka the strategy lady. I'm always excited to stop by every Tuesday and share this information with you all. Come back and hang out with me every Tuesday at 12 noon, where we're going to be sharing a piece of the operational leak. You don't want to miss it. Share this with your best business bestie, or someone that you think need this. Someone that you know is struggling with their operational system. Someone that you know is struggling and that they have a lead tracking leak. Until next time, thanks again for joining me. And if you watch this via, replay, type #replay. I'd love to communicate with you. I'd love to continue the conversation in the comment section. See you next week. Bye for now.